One of the things that makes the college game different than the NFL is that most college teams are located in smaller towns or cities, and there's an overall more local feel to the program. That's why when I see teams like Florida and Georgia playing in a place like Jacksonville, or Texas playing Oklahoma in a place like Dallas, or even these season openers that get played in Atlanta and all over the big cities in the country, I just don't like it. I think it goes against what the college game is all about. Why do you think all of us are so pumped that the expanded playoff games are going to be played on college campuses early? The bigger cities have enough going on. College football is really a big slice for the little guy when it comes to hometown teams in aggregate. A lot of these towns depend on the home team doing well to put butts in seats, people in restaurants and hotels, etc. when there's big home games or home games in general. Now, we already know the atmosphere, if this game was played in Athens or Gainesville, would be absolutely bananas. The Rivalries would lose absolutely nothing. In fact, they'll probably gain something. Now, it gives each school another huge recruiting weekend to host, which is worth its weight in gold when it's done right. Now, I'm not saying that the Jacksonville atmosphere isn't great. It's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I don't care what anybody says. But it needs to be moved to a home and home. It also doesn't benefit one school more than the other if you do this. You each get to host the game, so nobody is the odd man out. And like I said, that goes for season openers as well. Some of these so-called neutral site games are really de facto home games anyway. Now, there's an old saying, if you're good at making hamburgers, make hamburgers. And the college home game atmospheres are ruckus around the country. And some would say it's one of the reasons that the college game is better than the NFL. So while you may make more for the fat cats in the big cities, these small hometowns want you to keep making hamburgers. I'm going to bring in David Cohn.
Make those hamburgers.
Make those hamburgers, dog. Make them. Former Michigan quarterback, former Heisman candidate, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, current NFL free agent, and a reader of many books, but only on Kindle.
Yeah.
Guys, how's it going this morning? It's Wednesday. Well. It's hump day. We're getting there. No football last night.
Ew.
No football tonight either. I'm trying not to let the withdrawal show.
Why am I betting the NBA?
Yeah, it's, bet hockey last night.
Hockey game's on.
Went 1-1. You went 2-0 last night.
2-0.
And you were hot last year in hockey.
Flames.
You're the Ice King. Let's be honest with you.
The Ice King?
You're the Ice King when it comes to this.
I've seen how that movie ends or that show ends.
Yes, and we all know how it ends.
Hey,
but
6 awesome seasons and then...
Yeah, well, that's typically how it goes, right?
You know?
Name one show that's like 6 awesome seasons. Season 7 was the best.
Hey, you should just be thankful that you got 5 great seasons. And then I say...
Season 7 of Grey's Anatomy was phenomenal,
I'm happy.
guys.
That was better than 0.
Yeah, I watched about 5 minutes of Grey's Anatomy and could not change the channel quicker. Reed tried to get
so
me to watch
good.
it.
Even
Reed
Reed
was like,
so good. It got to a point where a season where they just ran out of things to do. They're killing people in helicopter, plane crashes. People are getting shot in the hospital. But Grey's Anatomy is pretty solid.
For real? Or are you being facetious?
No, I mean dead serious. Grey's Anatomy is pretty good.
I've never seen it.
Pretty good.
I just didn't watch it. But guys, when it comes, and we've talked about this, when it comes to college football, bowl games, I am fine with you playing on a neutral site. That's a reward for both teams. You don't want a team to have a home field advantage, even though sometimes teams play in the home state where the bowl is. We all know that. But when it comes to season openers, when it comes to regular season games in general, play home and homes, man. Like, it's the whole point of college football is to go to the Knoxvilles, the Tuscaloosas, the Corvallises, places like that to take over the city. It's a great moneymaker for the city. It brings a ton of great excitement, and it's the essence of college football. I mean, I don't want to go to a college football game in Detroit. You know, I just that's not college football to me. And look, I know that Austin's not a small place where Texas plays. I get that. There's some exceptions to the rule.
It's not Houston.
But yeah,
it's not Dallas.
It's not. That's exactly right. But in general, in aggregate, if you took it as an amalgamation, one of my favorite words to use, college football is about these smaller hometowns getting a big moment on Saturday where the town gets invaded by fans of that team and other teams. I wish we'd say, I get Kirby Smart why he wants to do it. I know for the Florida-Georgia game, they came out with an announcement that basically was an announcement about a discussion that may lead to an announcement. So they said that they're going to talk about things in the future. They love the tradition and the commitment to the game. And there'll be people that say, oh, it needs to be played in Jacksonville. Every year, it's great. It's a great party. I know it's a great party in Jacksonville. But guess what Jacksonville has? The Jaguars, all right? Jacksonville, it's a great town. I've been there before. It's a cool place. But that party would be just as nuts or more in Athens or in Gainesville.
Yeah.
I mean, again, show me where I'm wrong on this.
I mean, had I heard your argument when I was growing up, I probably would have said, well, what does it matter? Mercedes-Benz Stadium's cool. Like, let's have games there. And it is cool. It's a great place, and it can be a great atmosphere. But once you experience what the college atmosphere is like and the campus vibe when you go to games there, it's unlike anything else. And now I'm thinking through this in real time because we were talking about Austin versus Houston versus Texas. It's not so much maybe small towns versus big cities, because when I used to go by Georgia Tech's campus in Atlanta all the time.
Yeah, there's exceptions.
You still feel like Georgia Tech's campus is separate from downtown Atlanta, even though you can see the varsity across the street. Because when you're at Bobby Dodd, there's still this collegiate electricity that's different than if you were just over at the Falcon Stadium, right? So maybe it's less to do with big city and small town and more to do with you're on campus, you're feeling the vibe, and you're talking about bowl games being played at these sites, and I agree with that because I love bowl games. But what about if we got an extended playoff? They're talking about the first round might be at the home team's college campus, which is awesome. Man, what if we extended it past that? What if the semifinals or even the final, if we figured something out where you got home field advantage? That's how it was in high school. When I was in high school, the Georgia Dome game was the semifinal. So everyone got to go to that.
I did not know
that. It was a big
that.
thing. It was really cool. They may have changed it since.
Yeah, they have.
I think now they play the state title. But when I was growing up, the fourth round, the semifinal was in the Georgia Dome. And then you had to either go to your opponent's place to play the state championship, which that's why we had to go play Sean McVay and Marist on the road, or you got to play at your place. I don't know. Maybe the national championship shouldn't be like that. Maybe
Yeah,
the Super Bowl, but it could be cool.
Yeah, it could be cool. I mean, I don't think that'd be a losing situation, but I do think once you get to that Final Four, at least once you get to that semifinal, I think it's got to be all
Don't skew
neutral.
it in any way.
I think it's got to be all neutral because you never. I mean, again, imagine if Alabama.
I think I would agree with you. I'm just saying, like, even that, to have a national championship like on a college campus, it's at least worth us talking about.
Oh no, without a doubt. Blondier, what you think?
I just leave it up. It's so tough for me because obviously you want the games to be played at home stadiums, but I leave it up to the fans. I mean, Georgia, Florida fans, what do y'all want?
Okay.
If y'all want to keep it how it is, then that's fine. I go back to the Red Rivalries shootout. I mean, if that's what y'all want, if y'all want to split it 50-50, that's fine. If y'all want to,
well, what if Georgia? This looks like the situation because Florida gets to play it in Jacksonville, and I know from a ticket sales standpoint, it doesn't give you any advantage. But let's be honest, Jacksonville's in Florida. It's a lot easier for people that live in Florida to get to Jacksonville than it is for people that live in Athens. And just by pure math, we know there's more Florida fans in Florida than there is in Georgia. That's just the way it is. What if Georgia wants to move it because they're having to play in Jacksonville, but Florida doesn't want to move it because it's somewhat of a de facto home game?
I mean,
see, that's the problem.
That gets in a sticky situation. But I mean, maybe move it a little closer. Maybe you just make it the exact.
You make it just closer.
The exact
Savannah.
mileage.
Yeah.
Savannah.
The exact mileage between Athens.
They're like, we're gonna play it in. Wait for it, Pensacola.
Well, that's the Texas, Oklahoma. That's why they play where they do, because it's almost the exact
That's what
distance,
you'd have
even
to
though
do.
it's in North Texas.
Yeah.
You know? I agree with you.
But you know what? I think if you asked, like, legitimately and got a true answer, not your run-of-the-mill corporate goobity glop that you're going to get from
Watch your
sometimes. I think if you asked Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables, they would say we'd want it at home. We want it at home and home because it gives you another recruiting weekend. That's what this is all about. It always comes down to recruiting. That's Georgia's biggest gripe, is that we want another big recruiting home weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and Florida should want it too, in my opinion.
Do you think the reason, it's kind of the reason they do this is makes this rivalry stand out even more?
See, I don't think you have to force that. To me, that's like, look, if you're a happy married couple, you don't got to go outside and start skipping in front of everybody to let you know how happy you are. I think this game is big enough, and these two programs have so much tradition, have had so much success. You don't need that to make it stand out. What would make it stand out more probably is if they announce, hey, guess what? Next year the game's in Athens, and the year after that it's in Gainesville. I think that would give the rivalry a boost, in my opinion. That's why I said I think they may gain something. I don't think Florida has to go and Georgia have to go out of their way to make this game important. If you're a 9, you don't got to cake your face in makeup. You woke up like this. But if you're a 5, you got to try and put everything on. You're wearing those things they wrap around to make you look skinnier. You're basically wearing a mask. You're doing things with your hair, whatever, look like you're going to a Great Gatsby party. If you're a 5, you got to do that. You got to do that if you want attention. Not if you're a 9. And Florida, Georgia, I mean, they're a 9. There's a lot of 9s walking around there, too, if you want to be honest about it.
How do you feel about rotating the game? Say, once every 4 years, you get the neutral site so that every one player from every class gets to experience.
That'd be a win for me, for what I want. I am down to compromise. All right. One of the biggest problems in our society, we will not compromise on anything. You're so dug in on this, you're so dug in on that. There is no middle ground. I'll middle ground this thing. Every 4 years, let's do it. I'm totally fine with that.
Done. We'll sign it later.
All right, we'll sign it. We'll ride it up. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that content. Make sure you subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know every time that we're going live or we're dropping content. The only place that can bring you back to sports if you left. So come on home.